Good morning, Doug. How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good. I guess the last few weeks we've talked about guys that you've had to sort of plug in and go along with the injuries. Can you sort of evaluate the secondary just based on a lot of the young guys, what you've seen there and sort of this is kind of it is what it is for the rest of the season, it seems like.
Yeah. Demarcus Griffin Taylor started at nickel in place of Jace Rogers. I thought he did a good job of going in there and replacing him. Made a couple plays and did what he was asked to do, and ultimately made two plays there at 2 minute. For us to come away with a victory after a big play by Tune to Matt Golden there. I thought he did a good job, and that's really his as much as he's played this entire year. He has only played in a couple games. On defense, he's been on special teams some, so he did a really good job of going in and filling the void that we have there. And then you look at Jalen Emery. I mean, he made some mistakes, but he plays hard. He's fast. He does a lot of things well, and he's a freshman. But the more he plays, the better he's going to get. So I'm really proud of his progress so far. Has a lot of work to do, but is going to be a really good player here for a long time. And these reps are only going to make him better for the future. But has a really good skill set and very highly competitive. And you know, he stepped in. And then when you look at G's been in that lineup, but I think he's been pretty solid the last couple of weeks. Has to finish some plays, but we need his leadership. We need the experience there. Hassan Hippolyte, did not return. And Tabo has taken the void, and we've talked about him a little bit. Statistically, been very productive and playing with a lot of confidence right now. And then Latif played a little bit at corner, and then Art's back in the lineup. So just group effort to continue to get as productive as we can at that position and continue to fight and play. And I think our guys have responded pretty well, and it's a lot of things we can continue to do better. But we got to keep coaching them and putting them in situations that they can handle for us to be successful.
On that first drive of the game, Doug, if I make sure I saw right, did Moses get in there? Did you use
No,
him? No, it was not
no,
Moses.
Moses did not. Nope.
Okay, gotcha.
Thanks, Joseph. We'll keep it open here. And we'll pass it along to Andy Yanez.
Hey Doug, how you doing, sir?
Good. How you doing, Andy?
I'm doing good. Can you talk a little bit about the challenges that East Carolina poses, in particular their quarterback? You guys have a good one, Clayton Tune, but he's right up there in regards to what he's been able to do during his time just at East Carolina and in the conference. What challenges do they pose?
Yeah, I mean he's a fifth year senior who started 4 years in a row and played there for 5 years. A local kid that bleeds, East Carolina. A lot of respect for him on and off the field. Don't know him personally, but seems to be a great guy from everything I've read and I've seen. And his production speaks for itself when he's all said and done. He'll be one of the top 10 most productive quarterbacks passing the ball in the history of college football. So he's only a couple yards away from breaking in the top 10. And, he means a lot to their program as a person, as a player. So he's the engine that makes it go. Veteran group, especially in the skill positions. Running back is electric. Only a couple yards shy of 1,000 yards. Has been in and out of lineup, but probably one of the most explosive players in college football. And you look at number 5, the receiver, big, physical, prototypical guy that has a lot of talent and a lot of production. And there's a lot of other guys who contribute. 11 Winstead is their leading receiver. I mean, all of them look the same, 6'3", 6'4", really big on the perimeter, multiple tight ends that can stretch the field and block. And then they have 4 out of 5 starters back on the offensive line. I think they're one of the most talented, well-coached physical teams in our league. So it's probably the greatest challenge that we have yet, not only because we play them next, but because how they're built and how they're coached and, their leadership from the quarterback and some of the veteran people that they have. So they do a really good job schematically as well. So definitely a challenge that we got to be ready to accept with whoever's on the field and when the ball kicks off to go out there and compete at a high level.
Thanks, Andy. We'll send it back to Joseph Duarte.
Doug, this probably goes back to personnel, but Dana was telling us yesterday that one of the points of emphasis coming off the Temple was defending or tackling better off of the short kind of intermediate stuff. You feel like, when you went back and looked, is getting the guy there, I guess, at contact, how big is that, just in terms of not letting a small game, turn into a big one?
Yeah, I mean, that's, kind of the fundamentals of football. So, we've emphasized that. We play a lot of zone in the first half. Obviously, the young DBs and some of the things, and they did a really good job of attacking underneath coverage. We played better in the second half. We tightened the coverage up, played some man-to-man, pressured them, had some success with that. With just, being in the right place at the right time and finishing plays with the right technique. They have good players too, and we have to be great in those situations and understanding. And it's, we're in good position at times. We got to make plays, and then the times that we're there, and we got to change some schematically things to put those guys in better positions in the plays they didn't make, to make sure that they're effective in the underneath coverage or in the vertical deep part of the field. So it's a combination of a lot of things, but it's really fundamentals, and then compounded by make sure we're in the right things schematically to help those guys in those positions that some of those guys have never played in, and some of the veteran guys just being better and being more consistent in everything that they do.
Thanks, Joseph. We'll keep it open here. And send it back to Andy Yanez.
Doug, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on Jalen Emery. He made a couple of plays past game against Temple, but I'm just curious to get your thoughts on him and what you feel his assessment has been, not only over the course of the past weeks, but this past game against Temple.
Yeah, he's a very talented young player. I mean, with an electric skill set, great short area quickness, really fast and highly competitive. But he's still a freshman, so he's made some mistakes. And, there at the end of the game, he made 3 or 4 plays that we haven't really made this year at the position. I mean, he's physical and tackling, playing the ball, being aggressive, playing with confidence. My most proud moment of him was, he made the big play on 3rd down on the goal line stand, right there at the end, in a big tackle. In the next play, he missed the tackle when they scored on a play that was actually easier than the one that he made before. It's just one of those things that he's got to learn from. And, he was very upset. He focused back up and he played really well right there in the 2-minute drive. And those are lessons that you teach young players and that he's going to learn and grow from. But great skill set, loves football, loves to compete. And I think he's earned the respect of a lot of his teammates based off the way that he's prepared and the way that he's practiced. He's got a long way to go. He's got to mature a lot in a lot of different ways. But all the skill set, all the tools that you want a young player to have, he has those, and he's showing up on tape, with the way that he plays and the way he's approached the game. So, really proud of him. The sky's the limit for him. We just got to keep coaching him, keep teaching him, and get him better each and every day.
Thanks, Andy. We'll send it back to Joseph Duarte.
You guys do the Thursday where the young guys get to practice and stuff. Are you this time of year, most circumstances, would you have a plan to maybe get some young guys in, or are you guys, because of the injury situation, it's really guys that are going to play are already out there?
Yeah, we're going to get the best guys ready to play. We've talked about guys like DK and Justice and some of those guys and some of those guys that, based off where we're at, based off of their health or other reasons, we're going to redshirt those guys. And so, it's always program first. And some guys, no matter how talented they are, it's different being in the game and going out there. And, particularly in some positions, we're a little more thin than others. All right. But no matter who's out there, we got to get them ready to play. And, guys starters for a reason, and backups are backups for a reason. But, when you build this thing, championship level teams have depth. And then when you lose your depth, you got to be able to replace those guys with guys who go in there and function at a high level. And the expectation is the same for Jalen Emery as it is for Javarius Owens, right? So we don't even really talk about those type of things because everybody knows if you're going to game, you got to know what to do and why it's important to do it that way. And you got to gain the trust of your teammates more than anything because those guys play. And so just a combination of a lot of different things that we got to continue to improve on, coach better, play better, But it all starts with preparation, and some of those guys that we have on the scout team are going to be really good players, and some of those guys that are young that are here that aren't playing yet have battled health issues or different things. So it goes full circle in a lot of different things, and you have to be not only physically ready to play, but you got to be mentally ready to play too. So we'll continue to develop those guys, but some of them will be good players here in the future.
Thanks, Joseph.
Doug, in a minute, we're gonna talk to Noah Guzman, and I was wondering, just he made the play there on special teams, I believe, where he ripped the ball out. Is there anything from a defensive standpoint you can sort of share with us about his path and sort of what he's done here?
Yeah, I mean, he's being called up, so he's gonna have opportunity to do some things for us as well. With Hassan's situation and some of the other guys in the secondary, he's been a valuable asset since he's transferred in. Very, very intelligent, doesn't say much as far as talking a lot, always prepared, great understanding of the game. He's played in the Big 12 at a high level. So the longer he's here, the more he's going to play and more he's going to be able to help our team. Each and every week he's kind of increased his role. And I think he'll continue to increase that role, and he's gonna have to play some defense for us too. So he'll be a guy that everybody's probably gonna be wondering, like, where this guy come from, because he has that type of skill set that he can impact the game. And you saw him on kickoff, what he was able to do, but he's made plays all season on special teams, and he takes his role seriously. And I have a ton of respect for him, because we always talk to our players about, no matter what your role is, do it to the best of your ability for the team. And he's a team player. So whether it's special teams or just defense, whether we ask him to be on a show team to give a look of our opponent, he's willing to do whatever it takes. And he's a great person and a good player that I think is going to be able to help us moving forward.
Hey, Patrick, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Andy. How you doing?
I'm doing good. And I'm just curious to get your perspective on really the last few games going back to Memphis. It seems like the offense in particular has just been able to find a switch, and I think it's 5 straight games where you guys have scored like 30 or more points. From an offensive line perspective, what do you feel like's really been clicking in the last few contests?
I feel like we've just been, buying into coaching and, getting adjusted to how the season's going, and as you go along in the year, the connection with the offense gets better. And, I think we're just getting in our groove of making explosive plays and being more consistent in our offensive approach of things, basically. I would say that. Yeah.
Thanks, Andy. Patrick, while we wait on, here we go. We'll send it right back to Andy. Andy?
Yeah, if they had no question, I'll just follow up just in regards to, like you mentioned, you feel like you guys are really kind of starting to gel now that you guys have been able to play a few spring. Can you talk about how the beginning of the season, particularly on the offensive line, something Dana's mentioned to us multiple times in regards to the offensive line specifically, it was like an adjustment process, just being able to gel together because of the new additions you guys added on that line throughout the offseason, being able to gel together. Can you talk about what that process was like? I mean, throughout training camp, early parts of the season, and just really what goes into being able to gel together as an offensive line? If there's a way to explain it, I'm sure it's a loaded question.
Yeah, that's a loaded question. But being a part of the offensive line, it's a very tough position. We're 5 people working in unison. There's no individuals on the offensive line. If one person gives up a sack, we all give up a sack. There's no individual accolades. It's a combined thing. So I think the repetition of, just going day in and day out will just build that connection. It's not done in a day, and you have to buy into coaching and trust the process. And I think we've done a great job of that and bought into it.
Patrick, I'll go ahead and throw a question your way as well. I don't know if surprise is the right word, but is there anybody on the offensive line, whether that's been a consistent starter or maybe a reserve, that has impressed you, through the day-to-day, whether it's practice or games?
I think they've all impressed me. it's week 12 now that we've been doing it, and I'm just proud of everyone who's got on that field and done their thing. My coach was talking about it. There's no drop off. If somebody else has to play, there's no skill drop off. Everyone's ready to go. So I'm just real impressed with everyone who's played this season. They've all done a great job.
We'll send it back over to Andy Yanez.
Kind of focusing on on that leadership perspective, can you talk about how does Clayton Tune help offensive line if in regards to, I mean, just in general from that leadership standpoint? I'm sure he plays a big part into being able to have that gel factor throughout the season.
Of course, every day at practice we go through our cards, and he's the one who starts it off with us, and just getting that repetition, like I said before, every day, being with them and being able to know, all our assignments, and even if we're not doing a live situation, just doing cards, he'll be there. So just with the repetition, building that connection between him and us is great. So it helps and it translates to the field. So
Thanks, Andy. Continuing along here, Patrick, going to ask you a little bit about East Carolina. Obviously, a quality opponent. A conference road test. What's it going to take to be successful there, and what makes East Carolina such a difficult opponent from your perspective?
Well, with their defense, they run a lot of games and twists similar to Navy. So the offensive line's just going to have to be on their P's and Q's, can't miss any assignments, and we must just all be on the same page for us to be successful as an offense. It starts with the O-line, so big week of preparation and watching film. Yeah.
We'll send it back to you, Andy.
Yeah, Patrick, I'm curious from a run blocking perspective. Stacey Sneed, the last few games, has been able to put together solid performances. Does that just go? Well, I mean, I won't even guide you an answer, but just what have you seen from offensive line in terms of being able to find success in the run blocking the last few games?
Um, I would attest that to, coaching, obviously. Like I said, with O-line, it takes a while to get things going sometimes, but I would say just repetition and, giving people a chance. We've been giving him the ball a lot more, and Stacey's been doing a great job. So very excited to see what the future holds for him. And as an O-line, we can just keep building on what we've been doing. So
I got one more, Andrew.
Uh-huh.
That's okay. Just in regards to the last win, you guys beat Temple, that qualified you guys for the bowl game. I'm curious to get your thoughts on reaching that milestone and being able to qualify for a bowl game.
I think we all had a different mindset of what we thought the season was going to be. But now that we're here, just got to be grateful that we were able to push past the adversity that was given to us, and excited to see what bowl we're going to be in.
Hey, Noah, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Good. Thanks for doing this.
No problem.
I was wondering, we could just kick off. Can you kind of give us a little bit of your backstory in terms of, I think you had a connection here from West Virginia, your West Virginia days. Can you kind of give us the layout of how you ended up from there to here?
Right. So out of high school, I went to junior college in California. Then out of junior college in California, I ended up transferring to West Virginia in 2019. And I attended West Virginia and played there up until 2020 season when I transferred. And Casey Smithson and Dylan August, I was able to connect with them because they were on the staff over there when I was over there, and was able to get a hold of them. And that's how we kind of connected, and they were able to get me here to Houston.
Coach Belk was just telling us that, you're a guy that, you sort of wear many hats, you do different things, but that you're also someone that they're looking at, not only, now, but down the road. Can you kind of the on the field stuff now that you're here, can you kind of share with us sort of, what your roles have been?
Right. So this year primarily has been special teams, a big role in special teams. And honestly, on the defensive side of the ball, it's just pretty much anywhere that they need me. I mean, I could play free safety, boundary safety, nickel. So I'm just pretty much wherever I'm needed, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes.
Thanks, Joseph.
Did you hear a lot after that play? That play on Saturday, it looked like as soon as you hit the guy, you stripped it, and if I'm not mistaken, you like ran with the ball back to the sideline. I don't know if you wanted to give up the ball or what.
Oh no, yeah, I know. I had to show the refs that I got it, so they wouldn't have any second guesses that I got it. But yeah.
Thanks, Joseph. We'll pass it along to Andy Yanis. Andy?
Hey, Noah, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing good. One of the things that Dana Holgerson said yesterday was in regards to defense. Overall, there needs to be uh, just a better job at being able to limit the big plays. And Temple did a good job of being able to throw it short, and they had a lot of yards after catch. I'm just curious from your perspective on the defense, kind of what's kind of the emphasis, or how do you guys go about being able to focus on that and being able to limit opponents from getting a lot of yards after catch?
Right. I mean, honestly, it just comes down to doing your job, doing your 111th. As long as everybody just focus on their job, then we can eliminate those big plays and those mistakes on the field. So that's really all it takes. It's pretty simple.
Thanks, Andy. We'll send it back to Joseph.
No, how much have you done a lot of scouting this year, and then how recent have you sort of have they moved you out of that onto I guess the regular, either whether it's the travel squad or the active game day roster?
Right. So I've been back and forth on the scout team pretty much throughout the whole season. Just due to numbers and due to me getting more reps in practice so I could work on my technique and just kind of better myself. So I've been on scout team pretty much on and off throughout the whole season. And then obviously having the big part in special teams because that's my main role this year. So I've been traveling, doing special teams in every game on all four core of the special teams.
So would you have, I guess after this year, is it one more year or would you
Yes.
still have? Okay.
That's correct. I would have one more year.
Did you ever think, I mean, you left the Big 12 and now the Big 12 is following you,
Right.
you get back in for another year, what was that experience like? And is that something that, I know you guys are focused on this year, but can your teammates, maybe lean on you a little bit about what to expect next year?
Right. Yeah. No, I'm definitely excited to go back into the Big 12. It'll be some good competition, good football environment. So, and it's been somewhere. I'm going somewhere where I've been before. So I'm definitely ready for the challenge and definitely looking forward to it.
Thanks, Joseph. We'll keep it open here if there's a few more for Noah.
No, for guys that we haven't talked to before, always like to just throw something generic out about, is there anything outside of football or anything that, sort of maybe a backstory on you or something that kind of who you are?
Not really. I mean, just kind of, it's just a crazy story of, a kid in Whittier, California, going to junior college over there and then ending up in West Virginia and then now in Houston. It's just been a crazy, wild, long ride, but I'm just enjoying it every moment that I can, and it's just been a great experience. So definitely blessed and lucky to be in the position I am.
Did you have many offers come out, or was that JUCO where it sort of helped you build a resume so that you could go to West Virginia?
So in high school, I actually only played receiver, played a little bit of defensive back, but junior college was actually, and I didn't have any offers coming out of high school. So junior college was actually my first time playing defensive back for the full year. And West Virginia was actually my first offer out of junior college, and I decided to take it after my first year there.
If I could continue, Andrew, just what's that like out of high school? Is it one of those things where normally schools will come to you? Were you putting your name out there? Were you making phone calls?
Yeah, I was putting my name out there, making phone calls, sending emails to everybody I can. I'm definitely trying to I was going to camps, all that, but I thought it was just in my best interest. Obviously, after seeing I wasn't getting any offers at receiver, I thought it was in my best interest to switch over to defensive back, and obviously it worked out for the best.
So was that when you talked to your JUCO program, was that sort of the end to get in there with them that, hey, I'll change, or was that something that when you
Right.
got there y'all talked about?
Right. So when I got to Cerritos College, which is the JUCO I attended, they kind of gave me a choice. They said, do you want to play receiver, defensive back? And I told them, well, I tried receiver in high school, didn't really work out, so I might as well try the defensive back route. And they're very supportive of me, and I mean, very blessed that I went there and to have those coaches there to help me get my name out there and follow my dreams. So they definitely helped me in that aspect.
Had you not gone to Cerritos, what would you have done?
Oh man, I don't even know what I would have done. I probably would have went to Division III school, probably in my neighborhood or in my area. So definitely glad I took that chance and believed in myself and knowing I could be at the school of my dreams. So
You're in a Power Five. I mean, you've been at a
right,
Power Five.
exactly.
Is that sort of, for the kid that was in California, did
Mhm.
you may have lost
Yeah,
hope
that
at
was
one
that was a
point?
dream. Yeah, oh no, I've definitely had my doubts at some points. I've definitely had my ups and my downs, doubted myself before, but I just kept pushing, never quit, was persistent, was resilient, and ended up getting what I wanted and dream for.
Why do you think people weren't looking at you out of high school?
Not too sure. I can't really give you an answer that it's hard to say. Maybe if it was because of athleticism, speed, size. I mean, really hard to say exactly what it was, but yeah.
Thanks, Joseph. We'll send it over to Andy Yanez.
Yeah, no, it's just a question that popped into my head hearing you talk about your story. You talk about your persistence when you were at that JUCO level trying to make, I mean, honestly, your dream come true. Was there a person, or I mean, it could just be self-motivation. What do you feel really helped you to be able to have that perseverance to continue to keep pushing when you were at that level?
I would say it's definitely my family. I mean, my family's definitely done a lot for me, made a lot of sacrifices for me to be where I'm at today. And I can't be more thankful for them. And I love them dearly. And honestly, that's the reason why I keep pushing and keep moving forward.
Thanks, Andy. We'll pass it back to Joseph Duarte.
No, has there been a moment either here or at West Virginia that, sort of your play, your moment there that you've had? Would it be this past Saturday, or I remember you making another play at some point? But what stands out for you?
Definitely this past Saturday was a big play for me, getting that turnover. That was my first takeaway in my career at this level. But so it was a great experience, and it was cool to see my teammates excited for me. So it was just awesome.
You really did take the ball though, right?
Yes, I did. I took it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Thanks, Joseph. We can keep it open if there's one or two more here before we let Noah go. Noah,
No, was there? If
Yep,
I could
go
ask
ahead,
one more.
Joseph.
No, you mentioned West Virginia being that first one. Did you sort of shut things down after that, or did you get any other late type of offers, or was it just West Virginia the whole way?
I had a couple schools trying to talk to me after the offer, but um, I was just happy with the coaches there at the time, and what they told me. So I decided to take it because I thought it'd be a good fit for me. Um, so I just decided to roll with it. So committed right when they offered me, went on a visit, committed right after, and I just fell in love with it.